The rain pounded relentlessly on the black umbrellas clustered around the open grave in the quiet cemetery outside Chicago, each drop echoing the thunder in Alex's chest. He stood there, 28 years old and feeling like a ghost, his father's casket hovering just above the earth, ready to be lowered into eternal silence. "Hide it, Alex," his aunt had whispered harshly that morning, her eyes darting to his partner Jamie, standing a few feet away. "Your father wouldn't want that shame at his funeral." But Alex couldn't hide the ache, the years of unspoken words that had built a wall between him and his dad. Robert, a stoic Midwestern mechanic who'd raised him alone after Mom died young. Robert had been the kind of man who fixed engines with grease-stained hands and fixed problems with silence. Never once acknowledging the truth, Alex had confessed in a tearful letter at 18, "Dad, I'm gay." The response: a crumpled note tossed in the trash, and a decade of strained phone calls about weather and work. Nothing more. Jamie squeezed Alex's hand under the umbrella, his warm touch a lifeline in the storm. They'd met 5 years ago at a coffee shop in downtown Chicago, Jamie's easy smile cutting through Alex's guarded heart like sunlight through fog. Jamie, with his artist's soul and unwavering love, had become Alex's world, a world Robert pretended didn't exist. Now, as the minister droned on about eternal peace, Alex wondered if death would finally bury the secrets too. The crowd was small, family from the suburbs, old co-workers from the auto shop, a few neighbors who'd known Robert as the gruff but reliable guy who shoveled snow for the elderly. Aunt Clara, Robert's sister, had orchestrated everything with iron efficiency, insisting on a traditional service. "No drama," she'd said, her gaze lingering on Jamie like he was an unwelcome intruder. Alex had nodded, numb, agreeing to introduce Jamie as a close friend to avoid whispers. As the eulogies began, Alex stepped forward, his voice cracking. "My father was strong. He taught me to stand tall, even when life pushed back. Lies by omission burned his throat. He wanted to scream about the fishing trips where silence spoke volumes, the high school graduation where Robert's pride shone, but his hugs were brief, the college years when Alex hid his first boyfriend from family gatherings. Instead, he stepped back, the weight of conformity crushing him. Then, a stranger rose from the back row, a tall man in his mid-50s, salt and pepper hair slicked back, wearing a worn leather jacket that seemed out of place among the suits. He cleared his throat at the podium, and the crowd murmured. "I didn't know Robert long," he began, his voice steady like an anchor in rough seas. "But in the last year, he shared something with me that changed everything." Alex's heart stopped. Who was this man? He'd never seen him before, yet there was a familiarity in his eyes, a quiet intensity that demanded attention. Jamie leaned in, whispering, "Do you know him?" Alex shook his head, pulse racing as the stranger continued. "Robert and I met at the VA support group," the man said, referring to the veterans' meetings Robert attended for his old war wounds from Vietnam. He was quiet at first, but one night, over coffee, he opened up about his regrets, about a son he loved more than life but didn't know how to show it. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Aunt Clara's face paled, her hands clutching her purse like a shield. Alex felt the world tilt, rain mixing with tears on his cheeks. The stranger, his name was Mark, as he'd introduced later, painted a picture of Robert's final months. Hospital visits where cancer ate away at his body, but guilt gnawed at his soul. "He told me about Alex," Mark said, locking eyes with him. "How proud he was of the man you'd become. But he was scared of what the world would say. Scared he'd failed as a father by not understanding sooner." Alex's knees buckled. Jamie caught him, holding tight. The hook had sunk deep. This wasn't just a funeral. It was an unraveling of lies. A confrontation with love denied. Mark's words flowed like a river breaking a dam. Robert said, I told him to hide it once. In a stupid argument. But I was wrong. Tell him. If I can't, I love him. All of him. The crowd fell silent. The rain the only sound as Mark stepped down, approaching Alex with a small envelope. He asked me to give this to you. If he couldn't. Trembling, Alex opened it, a letter in Robert's shaky handwriting. Son, I'm sorry. I saw you with Jamie once. From afar. You looked happy. That's all I ever wanted. Forgive me. The funeral shifted then. From mourning to revelation. Whispers turned to hugs. Aunt Clara's stern facade cracking as she admitted her own fears. Jamie stood by Alex. Their love no longer a shadow, but a light. But this was just the beginning. In the days that followed, Alex delved into his father's hidden life, uncovering journals stashed in the attic of their old family home in the Chicago suburbs. Pages filled with clippings about LGBT rights. Articles Robert had saved quietly. Evidence of a man wrestling with change. Flashbacks haunted Alex, the summer he was 16. Catching his dad staring at a photo of mom with a distant look. Perhaps hiding his own pains. Or the time Robert fixed Jamie's car without question. Grumbling, but with a hint of approval in his eyes. Romance bloomed anew between Alex and Jamie amid the grief. Long walks along Lake Michigan, where waves crashed like unresolved emotions. He knew about us. Alex whispered one night, curled in Jamie's arms. All this time. Jamie kissed his forehead. Love finds a way, even in silence. Yet tension built. Not everyone accepted Mark's words. Cousin Mike, a burly truck driver, cornered Alex at the wake. That stranger's full of crap. Uncle Rob wasn't like that. Doubt crept in. Was Mark telling the truth? Or was this some elaborate ploy? Alex sought answers, tracking Mark to a small apartment in the city. Why you? He demanded. Mark sighed, revealing they weren't strangers. Robert had confided in him because Mark was gay too. A veteran who'd lost family to prejudice. Their bond was forged in shared stories of rejection and redemption. As weeks turned to months, Alex organized a memorial event. Not just for Robert, but for Hidden Truths. Invitations went out to the VA group. Old friends. Even estranged relatives. Jamie helped plan. Their relationship strengthening through the chaos. Climax approached when Aunt Clara confessed. She'd known about the letter but feared it would ruin the family image. I was wrong too. She wept. Forgiveness wasn't easy. But it came. Layer by layer. In the end, at a quiet gathering by the lake, Alex read Robert's letter aloud. Tears flowed. Hearts mended. The stranger, Mark, became a friend. His truth speaking a catalyst for change. Love, Alex realized, wasn't about perfection but persistence. In America's heartland, where traditions clashed with progress, one funeral had sparked a revolution of the soul. The aftermath of the funeral lingered like the scent of rain on pavement. Heavy and inescapable. Alex returned to his apartment in Wrigleyville, the vibrant Chicago neighborhood where rainbow flags fluttered defiantly from windows. A stark contrast to the subdued suburbs of his youth. Jamie was there, unpacking boxes of Robert's belongings they'd inherited. Tools, photos, a lifetime of mementos that now felt like puzzles waiting to be solved. I can't believe he kept this, Alex murmured, holding up a faded Polaroid of himself at 10, dressed in a makeshift superhero cape made from an old towel. Robert's handwriting on the back, my brave boy. The simplicity tore at him. A reminder of innocence before identities complicated everything. Jamie wrapped his arms around Alex from behind. He saw you. Even then. Their lips met in a kiss that started soft but deepened with the urgency of survivors clinging to each other. In the bedroom, under the glow of city lights filtering through blinds, they made love with a tenderness born from shared sorrow, bodies moving in rhythm to unspoken promises. Jamie's hands traced Alex's skin, whispering, "You're not alone anymore." But solitude crept back in dreams. Nightmares of the funeral replayed, Aunt Clara's glare, the casket descending, Mark's voice echoing like thunder. Alex woke sweating, heart pounding, reaching for Jamie, who soothed him back to sleep. Days blurred into a quest for understanding. Alex visited the VA center where Robert and Mark had met, a nondescript building in the Loop with fluorescent lights and worn chairs. Veterans milled about, sharing stories over coffee. "Your dad was a good listener," one old-timer said. "Never judged." Mark joined him there one afternoon. Robert came here after his diagnosis. Mark explained, leading Alex to a quiet corner. "Cancer gives you perspective. He talked about you a lot, how he regretted that fight when you came out." Flashback to that night, Alex, 18, heart in his throat, blurting it out over dinner. Robert's face hardening. "Not in this house," he'd growled, storming out. Alex had packed a bag, crashing with friends until college started. Years of distance followed. Holidays tense. Conversations superficial. "Why didn't he tell me himself?" Alex asked Mark, voice breaking. "Fear," Mark replied. "Same fear that kept me in the closet during my service." But he changed. Started reading books, watching documentaries, wanted to make amends. Evidence mounted in Robert's journals. Entries dated months before his death. "Saw Alex with that boy today. They look happy. Wish I could say something." Alex's eyes welled reading it. The pages a bridge across the chasm. Romance with Jamie intensified. A balm for wounds. They escaped to a weekend in Michigan's dunes, where sand met lake in endless horizons. Hand in hand, they watched sunsets, talking dreams. "Let's get married," Jamie proposed impulsively under stars. Alex laughed through tears. "Yes, but let's do it right when we're ready." Kitsch tins surged when cousin Mike confronted them at a family dinner. "That letter's fake," he accused, beer in hand. Uncle Rob was straight as an arrow. "This is some agenda." Aunt Clara defended weakly. "Mike, stop." But the seed of doubt sprouted. Alex stormed out, Jamie following. "Don't let him get to you," Jamie urged. Investigation deepened. Alex hired a private investigator discreet. Affordably to verify Mark's story. Reports came back. Mark was legitimate. A decorated vet with his own history of loss. But a twist. Mark and Robert had been more than friends. No, just confidants. But rumors swirled in small-town minds. Emotional peaks hit during Pride Month. Chicago's parade pulsed with energy. Floats and cheers. Alex marched for the first time. Jamie by his side, holding a sign for Dad, who learned too late. Crowds roared. But inside, Alex grieved the years lost. Clara called, apologetic. "I found more letters." Robert wrote them, but never sent. Envelopes arrived, filled with apologies. "Pride. Love. I'm sorry for making you hide." Healing began in therapy sessions, where Alex unpacked layers of rejection. Jamie attended some. Their bond unbreakable. Intimate moments followed, cooking dinners, laughing over wine. Bodies entwined in passion that affirmed life. Yet the story twisted again. Mark revealed a secret. Robert had donated to LGBT charities anonymously. He wanted to make up for it. At a charity gala, Alex spoke publicly for the first time. My father's silence hurt, but his hidden actions spoke volumes. Applause thundered. Jamie beaming. Tensions resolved as Mike apologized. swayed by evidence. Family reunited at a barbecue. Awkward but genuine hugs exchanged. In quiet reflection, Alex visited the grave. "I forgive you, Dad." Wind whispered back. Peace settling. Love's victory. Alex and Jamie planned their wedding, inviting all including Mark as best man. In America's melting pot, acceptance bloomed from ashes. Months after the funeral, autumn leaves painted Chicago in fiery hues, mirroring the passion reigniting in Alex's life. He and Jamie moved into Robert's old house in the suburbs, transforming it from a museum of memories into a home of their own. Walls repainted in warm blues. Photos reframed to include their story, Alex and Jamie at their first date. Robert's letter displayed like a trophy. "I feel him here," Alex said one evening, sorting through boxes in the garage. Tools gleamed under fluorescent light, each wrench a testament to Robert's hands-on love. Jamie nodded, pulling Alex close for a kiss that lingered, hands wandering with familiar heat. Their intimacy had evolved, grief forging deeper connection. Nights were a symphony of whispers and touches. Jamie's body a sanctuary where Alex found solace. "I love you," Jamie murmured, their rhythms sinking in ecstatic release. Sweat slicked and sated. But shadows loomed. A local newspaper picked up the story, "Veteran's Secret Legacy," a father's posthumous coming out for his son. Anonymous tips led to interviews, Mark confirming details. Fame was double-edged. Supporters flooded in, but haters too. Online trolls spewed venom, fake news. No real man changes like that. Alex's job as a graphic designer suffered. Clients pulled back, citing controversy. Stress mounted. Arguments flared with Jamie. "Maybe we should lay low?" Alex snapped one night. "No," Jamie countered, eyes fierce. "That's what your dad did. We fight." Reconciliation came through action. They volunteered at an LGBT youth center, mentoring kids like young Alex scared. Hidden. One teen, Tyler, shared his story of rejection. "My parents disowned me." Alex hugged him. "It gets better. Trust me." Flashbacks intensified. Robert at Alex's soccer games, cheering loudest. The man behind the mask vulnerable. Human. Mark became a fixture. Dinners turning to deep talks. "Robert saved me too," Mark admitted. "Lost my partner in Nam. He helped me grieve." A plot twist, digging deeper. Alex found Robert's will included a clause donating to equality causes. "For my son and those like him." Legal battles ensued when distant relatives contested, claiming undue influence. Courtrooms in downtown Chicago became battlegrounds, lawyers arguing over intent. Alex testified, voice steady. This was his truth. Jamie supported through it all. Their love a rock. Romantic getaways to New York, where they wandered Central Park, hand in hand, dreaming of family adoption. Perhaps. Climax built at the trial's end. Judge ruled in favor, praising Robert's evolution. Cheers erupted. Aunt Clara, now an ally, wept joyfully. Post-victory, Alex wrote a book proposal, Hidden Truths, A Father's Legacy. Publisher's bit. The story going viral. Personal growth peaked when Alex confronted his own fears. At a family reunion, he proposed to Jamie on one knee. "Will you marry me?" Ring glinting. Yes sealed with kisses amid applause. Wedding planning wove romance, venue by the lake. Vows heartfelt. Mark officiated, his presence a full circle. In the end, as vows exchanged under sunset, Alex felt Robert's spirit. Love triumphed, not despite pain, but through it a testament to humanity's capacity for change. Winter blanketed Chicago in snow, turning the city into a wonderland that belied the storm within Alex's soul. The book deal signed. He dove into writing. Nights at the keyboard, reliving painful memories. Jamie massaged his shoulders. "You're brave," he said, leading to tender lovemaking by the fireplace. Flames dancing on their skin. But publication brought backlash. Conservative groups protested. Picketing events. Disrespecting the dead. Signs read. Alex received threats, forcing them to install security. Support countered, letters from readers. "Your story saved my relationship with my son," one wrote. Impact rippled. Value in vulnerability. Flashback to childhood, Robert teaching Alex to drive. Patient despite fumbles. Moments of unspoken bond. Mark shared more. Photos of Robert at Pride events incognito. Hat low. He was there for you. From afar. Emotional depth plumbed in therapy. "I resented him," Alex confessed. Healing came in forgiveness letters burned in ritual. Romance with Jamie flourished. Valentine's surprise, cabin in Wisconsin. Hot tub under stars. Bodies merging in passionate affirmation. Kitsch tin peaked when a stalker emerged an old acquaintance of Robert's. Denying the narrative. Confrontation at a book signing. Lies. He shouted. Security intervened. But fear lingered. Investigation revealed the man was Mike's friend. Fueled by prejudice. Family intervention, Mike admitted fault. Disavowing him. Resolution in unity. Alex hosted a forum on acceptance. Panel including Mark. Clara. Experts. Dialogues bridged divides. Personal climax, wedding day. Lakeside venue. Friends gathered. Vows, through secrets and truths. "I choose you." Rings exchanged. Kiss sealing forever. Honeymoon in Hawaii. Beaches and love. "This is our beginning," Jamie whispered. Back home, Alex founded a foundation in Robert's name, aiding LGBT veterans. Mark co-led. Legacy living. In reflection, Alex stood at the grave. Snow falling. "Thanks, Dad." Peace profound. The story closed with hope in America's evolving tapestry. One truth at a time. Hearts opened. Spring brought renewal. Cherry blossoms blooming along Michigan Avenue like promises kept. Alex's book hit shelves. Hidden truths climbing charts. Interviews on national TV. Sharing the journey with poise. Jamie, now husband, beamed at launches. Their marriage a beacon ceremony intimate. Reception joyous with dances. Toasts. But fame's price, paparazzi. Privacy invaded. They relocated to a quieter suburb. House with yard for future kids. Adoption process began. Paperwork endless but hopeful. "We'll be great dads," Jamie said, envisioning family. Flashbacks softened. Robert's birthday cards. Always signed love. Dad's subtle clues. Mark visited often, sharing war stories. "Your father was my hero," he said, revealing Robert's acts of kindness. Community grew. Support groups Alex led. Stories shared. One woman inspired me to come out to my parents. Romance endured. Anniversaries celebrated with trips. Like San Francisco's hills. Hand in hand. Tension rose with a lawsuit from detractors, claiming defamation. Courts again. But truth prevailed, documents irrefutable. Victory party, family toasted. "Clara, proud of you. Nephew."